Okay, we're going to do this message on Isaiah 60:17, and it says, "Instead of bronze, I will bring you gold, and silver in the place of iron. Instead of wood, I will bring you bronze, and iron in the place of stones. I will make peace your governor, and well-being your ruler." And so, here is a very interesting verse. God is saying, I'm going to take out that which you think is good, and I'm going to give you back something better. And so often we are tempted to relinquish the control over our plans, our desires, our what we think is the best. And I've seen this in my life in the past. There's times back in the past where I thought, oh wow, this is perfect. And I thought my plan was going to be the perfect one, and then it ended up that things didn't work out, and I went through a season of disappointment, and in exchange, I've always seen the Lord come through with something better, eventually. Doesn't mean that it's quick. It doesn't mean that we get everything we want out of life, or everything is just smooth and peachy all the way. Life can be full of difficulties, disappointments, challenges, and sorrows, but I think God is a very, very gracious, generous, wonderful God that oftentimes gives us a lot of good things to enjoy in this life. Even in this life, as hard as it can be, God, as it says in the New Testament, richly provides us with all things we need for our enjoyment. So it's not like God's holding out on us, but sometimes I think God is saying, will you trust me enough to let go of control of what you think is best so I can truly ultimately give you what I know is best? And so that's always a challenge of faith, and I think the more we grow, the more we'll be able to understand this and look back over our lives and see how God truly did know what was best all along. There is times where I was in a situation where I couldn't understand, how could this be good, God? How could this be right? I just don't understand. How could this ever result in anything good? But, in hindsight is 20/20, as they say. You look back and you will see how faithful God has been and how good he has truly been, how wonderful he truly has been. We look back on let's just take, for example, this illustration. He wants to give silver in the place of bronze, silver in the place of bronze, or silver in the place of iron, and gold in the place of bronze. And sometimes we let our pasts, we are holding on to the past. There's several things we can hold on to. We can hold on to something that we really think we got, that's maybe God has something different in mind, or maybe we're holding on to something that is not truly benefiting us. It's like losing your baby teeth as a kid. You can't make room for the new teeth to grow in until you've lost the old ones. And so we got to let go of anything that the Lord highlights. Let loose control. Let him have his way. And that includes our past. So many people are holding on to the past, holding on to the bronze of yesterday, holding on to the iron of the past. When God says, I want to give you silver in exchange and gold in its place. And we can always trust God that whatever plans he has for us, we may not always understand things when we're going through it. But if we just have faith and we just keep remaining patient, we'll eventually see God's hand at work in everything, in every way, and we can get to a point of such stability that we can trust him no matter what. It is possible to get to a place of unshakable peace when we can know the character of God. The more we grow to know God, the more we'll trust him and allow him to have his way in our lives, because so often the challenge is we don't trust God enough. That's what makes obedience all the much more harder. When we think we know better than God, we're always more tempted to disobey and not cooperate with God. But, as we grow in our faith, our knowledge of God increases, our trust in him grows, and we can eventually be willing to just say, Lord, have your way in whatever situation it may be. Because we know God is always working all things together for our good. But we got to get to that heart level. So often we know it in our heads, but we don't feel it in our hearts. And so, through the process of growth as a believer, God is trying to continually move that knowledge from the head into the heart So it will truly be an experiential thing, not just a known intellectual thing. That will radically transform the Christian life when we truly realize how good God is, when we truly fully understand His character. I hope this message encourages you to trust the Lord more today, and as we keep watching for His plans to unfold in our lives, we've got to keep obeying and doing His will. God bless.